Hi guys, and welcome to another review. This is going to be part of the Kings of War Vanguard series, so it won't be on a Sunday. It'll be probably out of sync with all of that, but that's deliberately because this is like a 3-month project on looking at these figures, building these figures, painting these figures, and then battle reports and things. So I'm going to start with the main starter set. It's the Warband set, and my backdrop's going to fall apart. So I'm just going to open the box and place the figures down so you can see them. I think I've already done an unboxing, so none of this is going to be particularly more interesting. I'm not going to get the base out because I think I've said before I'm not going to use those. So I'm going to open these up. Let's see if I've got a pair of scissors or a knife. A knife will do it. Or will utterly fail to do it, should I say. So Mantic have unbelievably good plastic. Not. I just have a very crappy knife. Aha, my scissors. This will work better. Right. So these are like the what I call the scarecrows. They can be, I believe, they can be assembled to be sort of combatty or shooty. So I'm probably going to do a balance. And what I'll do is I'll build some and then I'll do scale shots at the end, so you can all see what they look like. But yeah, there are those. And then these are some of the monsters. Probably help if I got the cards, because the cards will tell me exactly what they are. I have to admit, I picked this force mainly because I love the look of them. They're so sort of easily cross-compatible with a lot of other. If you're doing anything that's kind of horror-like, or maybe even undead, or anything like that, really. I would say even Cthulhu-y. You can kind of throw these in. So you just have a look. Yeah, I think they can be built as spectres, which I think are the shooty ones. Yeah, and then scarecrows. So that's a scarecrow, and this is a spectre. So they can be built like that to be shooty, or scarecrows, which are less points, but fighty. Let's call them fighty because it sounds cooler, right? Okay, so where do I stick these cards out of the way for the time being? That was a clever idea. Put them over there. Right. So I've opened up the other one, another pack, and I'll have to get the cards out again to tell you what they are. But this is actually, this figure is one of the reasons why I bought this set, because it reminds me a bit of the Tooth Fairies out of the first Ron Perlman Hellboy, which is quite interesting because obviously Mantic now have the board game of Hellboy that all comes in a kind of like circle. Let me just pour these parts out. So this is Mantic's Restic stuff. A friend has told me they might be moving over to more traditional resin, which I think is only going to be a good thing. I don't hate this material. I understand why it exists, and I don't really have an overall issue with it, but it is a little bit more complicated to clean up. So we have here some heads and some arms. I think, well, it'd be helpful if I looked at some of the instructions, I guess, but yeah, it goes like that. Goes like that. And then it's got a space for the arms to get plugged into. So like I say, what I'm going to do is I'll build some of these and take some photos so you can see them scaled up against other stuff. I think there might be a couple of options on this guy as well. But obviously the nice big butchery mini, which I'm hoping is every bit as good in combat as I want it to, as it looks as though it should be. Yes, it does. It looks like I can get a couple of different arm options on that one. And then there's, is it that one? Yeah, there you go. So here's, that head goes on there. That's kind of cool. Yep, and a fair few different options. Did I put this on the wrong way? Maybe that's why. No, just 2 arm options. That's all groovy. So that's some other parts there. So like I say, it'll probably be better if I put these all together and then have another look at them. Now mine are going all on round bases, so what you'll see when I come back is them all being on round bases. Actually, I don't know if I should just... This is the bit where I start getting all the things out into different piles and then get the parts modelled up. Be a bit careful with this. So this is another set, I think, of similar stuff. Not exactly the same, but similar stuff. So yeah, it allows me to build these monsters slightly differently. Yeah, no, it's the same thing, just 2 packets of the same thing. So everything's kind of doubled up. That's kind of cool. Now, the other box, which is this one, it's just, I'm not sure that I will get these out of the packs at this time, because basically there's not so many miniatures involved, and there are not so many parts, I don't think, either. So yeah, I'm not using the square bases. I'm purely going to go for round bases because that's how I rumble. Just getting them out of there. And these are a different kind of resin. So as you can see, that one actually isn't in multi-part or anything. That's just one piece, and it just goes on a floaty base, which I have over here. So that one's going to be easy enough. It's kind of nice and big. This one, it's got a few more parts to it, smaller arms and stuff to go in there. Again, what I'll do with these, I'll build them and then and I might take some photos as well. So what I'll do is a little montage, some photos as I build them or something. But it's going to be easier for you to see them once I've built them and for me to review them. So that'll be the next bit. So I'll catch you in a minute. Bye bye now. Okay guys, just a quick final look at the models all built and put together. I am going to go around with some liquid green stuff and some green stuff and fill some of the gaps, because there are a few, but not massive gaps, if that makes sense. Just easy fill gaps. Some of them are quite well hidden. So yeah, now let me see, where do I put the cards, because I'll get the names of these wrong if I'm not careful. Obviously the cards are super useful. They've got all the names and everything on them, but also for picking armies, it's got all of the points on them, so you can literally point them out with the cards. So you may as well start with the Mind Screech. This one has no assembly whatsoever, well, apart from the base. The base goes in the hole in like that, and then this part goes in the round part of the base, but as it's not like a slot, so it doesn't stay on its own, if that makes sense. It needs gluing. Anyhow, really nice mini. Hopefully you can see all the detail on that, because it's kind of like, it's that kind of typical grey colour. See if I move this out of the way a bit, shadow a bit. Yeah, so it's got like lots of mouths and the one eye at the front, which is there, and then the mouths, which are kind of cool. It's like a proper horror style thing, like nightmare, which I kind of like the theme of this force is very nightmarish. So hang on, let's go back to my cards and I can tell you what they are. Then there's the Shade, which I believe is this one. It's clambering over a rock. Again, sort of a mouth that almost looks like it's formed out of a broken rib cage, and another mouth at the top. Just the stuff of nightmares, really, which I think is just brilliant. I may have missed a gate on this one, actually, just noticed that. There's like a little piece that I may need to trim off there. Always good double looking at your minis. Then we have the Banshee. one of my favourite minis this range. Really nicely. It's like a skirt made out of flesh almost, with little claws at the bottom, which is just fantastic. Love it. And the head, well, I say head, yeah, the gaping mouth, fantastic again. Really nice take on a kind of traditional thing. So there's a couple I skip past because one or two of them are. So I've got the Butcher Flesh Ripper. That is this one. This just got these slightly different, I'll make these out of the way, and I know I've done those. It's got a slightly different construction of the normal Butcher, in that he's got a blade, a sort of sword-like blade rather than a cleaver. Again, really nice, big, beastie mini. So go past that. There's the Phantom. There's two Phantoms. They're both identical, but again, really like them. They look like those kind of floaty, evil, spirity type things, hooded with, yeah, big, nice, open jaw with a tongue. I love them. I really like them. I have to say, the more time I'm spending looking at these, building these, the more I'm starting to like them even more than I did. So I had clear favourites when I wanted to get into this faction. And then you've got the Shadow Hounds again, which are two. Dropped it. Again, twin-headed. You don't get any choice in which way around you put the heads, unless you want to cut around with them a bit, which you could do, but I've just kept them the same. But again, really like them. I might miss a mould line on one, so I'm going to have to go back with that one. Then we've got the Horrors, which are probably the sort of more understated ones. They're a little bit smaller, but equally kind of as scary apparitions. Probably, as things stand, like I think they come down as my least favourite ones of the group. That's not to say they're rubbish, just don't appeal to me as much. Then we've got the Reapers, which are the ones that started out as my original favourites because they look a bit like the Hellboy Tooth Fairies. Again, quite like them. Nice and scary. They really are something out of a nightmarish dream, which I think is pretty awesome. Got cards for Needle Fangs, but we don't actually have those in the box. So just move those out of the way. You get like 3 of each card, so if you're hearing me going through them, it's because I'm trying to find it. And this is the standard Butcher. That's because he's got the cleaver. I suppose if I was to go and get more of these, I would probably switch out the weapon for other weapons that I've got in my bits box, just to sort of shake them up a bit, and this one, because that's the one that's kind of repetitive on all of them. But yeah, again, nice, big, bulky, scary monster. Hopefully, in a moment, I'll get through to my more... So the Spectres, I've got 3 Spectres because it allows you to make 3 of... The plastic sprue allows you to make 3 of one and 2 of another. So I've got 3 Spectres. Again, this plastic set has actually really surprised me. I really like it. I really like it, and I think the favourite minis of the lot now, sorry about the noise in the background, my favourite minis of the lot now are the Scarecrows, because there's a kind of niceness to them that I really like. I could just have bands of these marching out of a cornfield or something in some kind of horror game. I'm just wondering if there's any room for a crossover for The Walking Dead All Out War. Have some of these marching around chasing after people. And this is the other one. He's got a bit more of a mouth going on the scary mouths, which is kind of common across the range, which is nice. Draws them all together. So yeah, that's the last bit of this vid. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some pictures with some of the figures and some other generic fantasy and sci-fi figures so you can get an idea of how big they are, and I'll stick them on the end of the vid. Sorry it's been quite a long one, but as you can understand, there's quite a few figures in that, and obviously I built them as well. So it's kind of cross 2 kind of videos I think this will probably end up being, and hopefully it'll give you a good look as to what they're like. Anyway, I shall catch you next time. Cheers guys, bye bye now.